Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and today is going to be another episode of About Last Nightmare. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, this is the series that I have been doing with my very good friend, Nick, the last Shoegazer. I do part one, which is the facts and figures, and he does part two, which is an overall synopsis on the film and our take. Now, Nick and I basically watch a movie that we both have in our collections. Sometimes it's one I've seen before, sometimes it's ones he's seen before. This one, of course, is one that we both haven't seen. He had just picked this up. I'm not really sure, maybe from Vinegar Syndrome. I got it in the end of September when I went to Monster Mania. Vinegar Syndrome had a table there, and this is one that I've been wanting for quite some time because the lead actor in this is one of my favorite actors of all time. And the movie of which I speak is The Undertaker. Now, The Undertaker is a 1988 film which runs approximately 88 minutes and is directed by Franco Stefanino. The Undertaker is also written by William James Kennedy. Now, he was kind of an actor. He was in Guiding Light, Another World, and he also had a bit part in The Undertaker. He also wrote and directed Ankle Bracelet, which is a movie that I've never seen. I've never actually even heard of it, to be honest. Now, The Undertaker, of course, stars the late, great Joe Spinel as Uncle Roscoe. Joe Spinel passed away January the 13th of 1989 due to a heart attack. He is one of my favorite actors of all time, was one of my favorite actors. He just left a great legacy of parts on film. He, of course, was in Night Shift, which was one of my favorite. He had a bit part in that, but it was one of my favorites of all time. He played in Nighthawks, of course, Maniac, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Rocky and Rocky 2, which, I mean, no one can forget Gazzo. The Godfathers Part 1 and 2. Losing It, which was Tom Cruise's first movie, if I'm not mistaken. And a movie that I haven't quite warmed up to is The Last Horror Film. Now, I've seen it twice. I really want to like it, but there's something about it that just bothers me. I haven't put my finger on it yet, but yeah, I do own it. It's in my collection, and he actually stars in that movie with Carolyn Monroe, who was also his co-star in Maniac. Now, The Undertaker also stars Rebecca Varon, who plays Pam Hayes, and Patrick Askian, who plays Nicky Leonardo. Couldn't find anything on those two people. This was their only acting role. No directors, no directing credits, no writing credits. So this was pretty much their one and only shot. This movie is quite odd. it yeah, it's an oddball movie. Joe Spinell, it's not a big secret that he had a problem with alcohol. I'm not sure if he had a problem with drugs, but he did. Had a very big problem with alcohol, which of course I'm sure played a part in his death, unfortunately. And I myself could pick out uh, definitely two parts in this film where he was pretty wasted. He was slurring his words, and it just wasn't a good look. It was kind of funny, and at the same time, it was very sad. Knowing that this was the end of his career, to kind of go out like that kind of made me a little sad. But there was also a great performance in this movie from him. He was a fantastic actor. He really was. I really wish he was still around. Now, in talking with my very good friend Dave Maggot, he kind of put this as they kind of let Joe Spinell off the chain. And that's very true. Very, very true. Now, some interesting things about this film. Writer William James Kennedy wrote the script in 5 days. Richard Lynch was actually looked at to play Uncle Roscoe, the lead character, but Joe Spinell lobbied for this role pretty hard. The movie was released after Joe Spinell died, unfortunately. And what I thought was actually quite interesting, I knew that Code Red had released this DVD years and years ago. Apparently, it's really edited, the Code Red DVD. A lot of the gory scenes are cut, and some of the scenes are kind of out of order in this one. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Now, there are definitely some problems with this film. In the beginning, it is basically stated that they found the 35 millimeter negative a few years ago, and it was all there except for 6 minutes of footage. Now, that 6 minutes of footage was replaced by VHS stock. So, of course, there's going to be a difference in picture quality. Nick and I, of course, noticed it right away, but in explaining in the beginning of the film that this is it's as complete as this film will ever be, you kind of have to take that into consideration when you're watching it. Also, there was, a couple scenes of dialogue problems and stuff like that, and also sound problems. There was a scene with two of the cops in a car, and they're kind of talking, and the background noise just goes silent. By background noise, I mean like the nature, what do you call it? The cars in the background, the kids playing, just stuff like that. And Nick had commented to me and said, "Did something just happen with your audio in the film?" I was like, "Yep." So, I mean, you kind of have to understand what you're getting into when you watch this film. But yeah, he and I both enjoyed it a lot because we're both Joe Spinell fans. Definitely tune in to The Last Shoegazer, where he will do part 2 of this, which will, of course, have the overall synopsis and our take on the film. So definitely check him out. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.